Mintlayer is an excellent project, and going forward, it is going to do exceptionally well, especially in the upcoming bull run. And today, I'm going to be deep diving into the project and giving you guys all the information you need in order to make the decision around should I buy this coin or should I look for another one. Ultimately, it's empowering the BRC20 ecosystem, and going forward, it's going to do some wonderful things. But let's get straight into it. Just remember, nothing I say is financial advice. My name is Zach, and if you'd like to join the Crypto with Zach Discord server and even consider joining the Patreon, links are in the description. So right now, Mintlayer is on an absolute tear. And if the market does fall bearish, I would be expecting this to fall in tandem. However, because it's in the Bitcoin narrative, I don't think it will get hit too hard. Compared to other altcoins, if we do start dumping, this should hold up relatively well, as we do have a lot of bullish momentum and bullish buying pressure. Currently sitting at a $62 million market cap, and we'll cover this later on, but only around a 20% of the coins are in circulation, and we will be covering the token release later in this video. But ultimately, there is a nice slow and smooth inflation rate and token area inflation rate, similar to Tectum. And if you want to pick it up, you can pick it up on a few different exchanges such as Gate.io, Mexi, and Bitmart. So what is Mintlayer? It's empowering Bitcoin with a sidechain. So it has a Bitcoin sidechain and wallet where you can swap Bitcoin peer-to-peer for any token issued, and they're also supporting the Lightning Network. And they're also here to empower the Bitcoin and BRC20 ecosystem, making it a lot easier for projects to not only launch on, but for us investors to actually reach these projects. So they're doing a few things. We'll jump into the developers tab soon, but straight off the bat, they're here for DeFi, a decentralized finance markets. So we leverage technology with advanced scalability to enforce network and user security, increase node inclusivity, and also ensure long-term sustainability. So here, empowering DeFi, doing a few different things. First things first, kind of a real-world asset point right here. So a tokenization ecosystem, but not only, it's not a real-world asset play, but they're bringing the ability for real-world asset players to build on top of it. So tokenized equity, real estate, and other holdings in primary and secondary markets using a legally compliant technical architecture. Supports taxation, investment payouts, and other tokenomic models for utility tokens. No native gas token. Also, as we said, here to ultimately empower decentralized finance. So DeFi is going to have this narrative, this crypto cycle of DeFi is going to change the world. So not only is this in the BRC20 narrative, it's also in the decentralized finance narrative. And you can store your assets, lend, borrow, and trade on a single network with a wallet that gathers everything in your hands without giving away private keys. So you can utilize DeFi and the real purpose DeFi is here for in a much more secure and anonymous way, and also interact with the BRC20 ecosystem a lot easier compared to previous cycles and earlier projects that have attempted to do what Mintlayer have done. But ultimately, they're here to transfer and exchange value. So two-way pegging allows cryptocurrencies from various blockchains to interact on a single protocol, which is interesting. They say that. So first things first, they're in the BRC20 ecosystem. They have real-world asset usability. They're also in the decentralized finance narrative, and they also are an interoperable blockchain. So that is also an excellent point for the project. So they're in three main narratives straight off the bat. But mainly the Bitcoin narrative is going to drive this cycle, and it's also going to drive Mintlayer going forward and push the price through the roof. And for all the new cryptocurrency investors watching my videos, if you don't know what a narrative is, basically it's how cryptocurrency investors categorize different cryptocurrency projects. So the gaming narrative will have gaming projects. The BRC20 narrative has Bitcoin projects such as Mintlayer. One thing about Mintlayer, and it's just around the corner, is the release of its mainnet. Right now, they are still currently in testnet, and on January 29th, they will be looking to release their mainnet. So what this means is projects can now start building on their mainnet, utilizing Mintlayer's developer tools, what they're providing, their actual foundation itself, that sort of thing, and it will start empowering the BRC20 ecosystem from a single point of entry. not only for an investor, but also for projects moving forward. And if we jump onto their actual developers ecosystem, we can see that they offer developers a few things, such as incubator programs, accelerator programs, and even a grants initiative, which is great. So they're here empowering the creation of BRC20 DeFi projects, but they're also bringing incentives in order to do so. So now we're just going to quickly jump into what Mintlayer is all about. So what they're doing is they're utilizing the proof of stake mechanism and combining it with the current Bitcoin proof of work mechanism and their technologies. So Mintlayer's dynamic slot allocation, or DSA, consensus merges the proof of stake and Bitcoin technologies to make decentralized financial markets attack proof. What Mintlayer are offering is a few different things, such as a wallet. So actually in their project, they have a built-in non-custodial wallet, so you can access your funds from a hardware wallet or via private keys. Also tokenization, so migrate from different blockchains with ease, and join the interconnected Mintlayer ecosystem. Our protocol supports security tokens, asset tokenizations, derivatives, and more, giving you the power of choice when it comes to investments. And also the decentralized exchange, which is going to be very important. So our protocol runs a built-in DEX, or decentralized exchange. Being native, it supports atomic swaps and is a censorship-resistant exchange, which is good. So there's some main utility they are providing, but they're also providing the ability for developers to build on top of what they're offering, which is going to grow the entire ecosystem as a whole. I kind of view it as an injective of the Bitcoin and BRC20 sector, as they're providing not only developers to build on top of their project, but also incentives for investors to actually utilize their project as well. So all in all, the utility behind the project is awesome, which we have seen. It is literally an injective of the Bitcoin ecosystem. However, we are sitting at a $62 million market cap and a fully diluted market cap of $340 million. So like we said, 20% of those coins are in circulation. What is our inflation rate? Well, I'll bring up the tokenomics right now. So at the current point, we're about 9 months into this chart, sitting about here. So we have around 75 million coins in circulation and different coins that are currently in locking periods or for long-term development, that sort of thing. Around the 20-month time will be 2025, which is when crypto should be heating up. So maximum, we're not going to see over 300 million coins in circulation at that point. So there's not going to be a huge inflation hit. In fact, some of these coins are actually still going to be locked at that point in time. So we will still have a reduced circulating supply. So for a bull run, this shouldn't really have a major impact. I think the fundamentals definitely outweigh the tokenomics in this situation. So if we jump into the price analysis, we can see that we rejected $1 bang on the money. And I was interested to see how this reacted around that whole number. I'm not surprised we actually rejected that number. In fact, it was kind of due for a retrace shortly. It was due for a retrace shortly at that point in time, as we've pretty much been going vertical. So where could we go to in the short term? I think this area here is definitely feasible. I think we're going to have a lot of bleeding, especially in altcoins, around the Bitcoin ETF decision, which was good. But March is going to be those main Bitcoin ETF decisions, which will start pumping the market. And then obviously after the halving, we're going to see some solid pushes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come to an area down here. In fact, I'd say somewhere here we could potentially come to in the short term, potentially below this line. But if we go below this line, it won't be for very long. That is for sure, because people are going to have a huge amount of orders set here. Who knows if we're actually going to see this price again? We could break $1 and potentially go even higher. But what I'm thinking for the current point is maybe, a retrace down, which will probably then pump out and we'll just get a lot of bleeding, potentially push on this line, and then towards that next ETF decision around that March period, which will be when BlackRock's getting their decision. So that's going to be big for crypto. And especially around those ETF decisions, we could potentially start seeing a push up, maybe take out $1 eventually, and then continue upwards. But $1 is going to be the main point we need to get through right now. until we get through $1 and break through and actually hold that dollar, I will probably just continue ranging, especially while we're short-term bearish in crypto. Probably will stay bearish maybe for about a month or two until that next ETF hype kind of starts coming around. And then when that actually gets approved, because they're probably going to get approved, let's be honest, that's probably going to start our next Bitcoin pump or potentially altcoin pump. But I would be expecting the Bitcoin narrative and the BRC20 narrative, like I said, to do exceptionally well. So if you can get into these good projects early, and this is still early compared to what it could be, I mean, with no token area inflation rate, around a $6 billion market cap is that 100x. And if you think about an injective of the Bitcoin ecosystem, this could go exceptionally high, potentially higher than that 100x from the current point. However, that is not financial advice. I will most likely have most of my positions closed at that point. So now we're going to jump into my price prediction for Mintlayer. But before we jump into that, I'm just going to quickly, briefly summarize the actual use of the ML token. So it's a utility token. One of the main things it's going to be used for is actually for gas fees when mainnet is launched. And also going into the future when that DeFi ecosystem starts building up, there's going to be a huge amount of use case for the token, as well as staking on the actual protocol itself, using for swaps in different decentralized exchanges. Basically, it's a good utility token, and it's a good hold going forward because it's the actual backing token of the Mintlayer project. So, how high can this go? My conservative market cap prediction, I'd say, would be around that $3 to $5 billion mark, which is definitely achievable. Right, if it's an injective of the BRC20 ecosystem, and when mainnet goes live and we start seeing that ecosystem starting to grow, and then people suddenly realize that Mintlayer is behind it, it is going to pump. It is going to go exceptionally high. The only thing really stopping it at the current point is the lack of centralized exchange listings and tier 1 listings. I'd like to see a Binance, even a KuCoin, a CoinSpot, a Coinbase. Those sorts of listings will be enormous. Actually, you might even be able to potentially pick it up on Coinbase. If you can, that's very good. I'm not in America though, so I'm not really familiar with Coinbase. Anyway, going forward, it's very good. So I reckon 3 to 5 billion is definitely achievable. Let's say the BRC20 ecosystem is a massive narrative, like it drives the next cycle. We get these projects starting to really push. Mintlayer builds an awesome ecosystem. 10 billion plus isn't out of the question, but it's not going to be easy. So I reckon 3 to 5 billion is my mark, which is around a 75 to 80x, I believe, plus or minus. But it definitely still can 100x from the current point. So if we see a dip, not financial advice, but it might be a decent point to consider upping your entry or even getting your foot in the door if you haven't as of yet. Right now, if you're just buying and holding and not worrying about the short-term price, it's a good buy because anything under $100 million in market cap is a good buy. So that really just depends on your investing strategy. Alright everyone, that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like and subscribing, as I'll be uploading 3 to 5 times every week. Also, if you'd like to join the Crypto Exact Discord server and collaborate with like-minded crypto investors, link is in the description. If you'd like that more one-on-one coaching and mentoring, join the Patreon, link is also in the description for that. There's going to be limited spaces going forward, so make sure you secure your spot and your price for life. Apart from that, I hope the markets have been treating you well, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.